8 months. It took 8 months for me to finally follow up on this comment that I got. It was from my old channel trailer. Am I Losing My Hair? That was the name of it. And someone named Hagglefan commented and said this: "You kind of look like and remind me of Mark Duplass. Check out his movies, man. Especially Creep. They're really good. One of my favorite actors." So in the likeness of Creep, I'm got my camera and I'm walking through a building, right? But yeah, so what's funny is I saw that comment. I acted upon it by going to my Netflix account and finding Creep and therefore putting it in my queue. That was 8 months ago. And now, finally this weekend, I watched Creep. And now I've got the sequel in my queue as well. So yeah, I finally watched it and it was my kind of movie. But I couldn't deny the fact that as I watched Mark Duplass in that movie, yeah, it kind of felt like I was looking at in the selfie screen that I'm looking at right now. Just the whole concept of the way he acted and the way he looked, and even the concept of just being like outdoors in California. Because originally this channel started not as hair loss, but I did kids videos. I had this program I made called Uncle Nick's Enchanted Forest. If I can think of it, I'll put a link to it below so you can check it out. But it was where I go out into the woods and it's about hiking and animals and stuff. So there was so many things that was like reminded me of myself as I watched Mark Duplass in the movie Creep. And I'm like, okay, I totally see it. There are so many people who say I look like so many people. Like, okay, I get this whole thing a lot about Ben Affleck. And back when I was shaving my hair, Joe Rogan. I got those a lot, and I have been getting those comments for years. And only one person said Mark Duplass, but I can't unsee it now. Mark Duplass. If I look like anybody, it's Mark Duplass. And I was so curious about it. So I wanted to see, well, what he and I have in common. We're both from the South. He's from New Orleans. I'm from Alabama. So we're both from the South. He's 5 years older than me. But we're still closer in age than I am to most of you. Our hairlines, I would argue, are pretty similar. It looks like he's got a Norwood 2.5 going on. Many would argue, though, that he has no diffuse thinning, which I do have. Ethnicity, you know, I'm big into that. I have that whole second YouTube channel about that. He and I definitely share some ethnic similarities. A lot of his DNA is German, as mine is, my last name being Schell, which is German. My dad's a quarter German, and that's where I get the name. And then on my mom's side, and the same thing as Mark Duplass, is that he is also, in addition to being German, he is also part Jewish, which I am, and he's also of Italian heritage, which I am, and a little bit French, which I am. So all these things sort of line up, and you can definitely see it in the eyes. I mean, you can look at my eyes and forget about the fact that these are actually technically kind of Asian eyes, I believe, because of the Native American Mexican thing I've got going on, you know. But I see the traits in there. I see the quirkiness of how things are presented, how it's like, I'm your instant friend, and you're going to be exposed to me a lot now, and you're going to like it, and you're going to keep coming back, and who knows what's going to happen. So yeah, Mark Duplass, the movie Creep, good call. Took me 8 months. I finally saw it, and I say, from here on out, many people will say Ben Affleck. Eventually, when that day comes and I'm shaving off my hair again, people will say Joe Rogan again. But Mark Duplass is absolutely the guy that I look like the most. Mark Duplass. I'll put a link not to his movie Creep, but to that one of my other videos that I used to make before I became the head honcho of hair loss. And you can even compare that to the movie Creep, and it's like, wow, there's actually, yeah, there's some similarities that are undeniable. But it's especially in the eyes, especially in the nose and the jaw. You'll see what I'm talking about. Mark Duplass.